everybody. Today I just wanted to show you the two resources that you're going to be using for this week's discussion. So the point of this discussion is that I want you to investigate your college major as well as the career that you want to go into, with the idea that as technology changes, it arbitrarily makes some skills more valuable and some skills less valuable. And one of the best ways of determining that is to look at what the actual value of that major or that profession is. And you can do that right now by looking at some data. And the second resource that we've got has got more data. It'll actually talk about where they project this career is going to go in the future. So let's get started. This is the first resource right here, the Hamilton Project in conjunction with the Brookings Institution. And you will see there are two different charts here. One shows annual earnings. So these are the average annual earnings income for people based on the major that they have in college, but not their jobs, mind you. This is just based on the major that they have in college. So if you have a degree in engineering, civil engineering, or if you have a degree in biology, how well do you do over the course of your career? I mean, as you gain experience, right, your income is going to go up. And that's, so how many years into your career, what's the average income for somebody who has that particular degree? The second thing is lifetime earnings. So this is just going to look at the actual lifetime earnings. And in fact, I'll go ahead and click here. So at the 50th percentile, that means half of the people who have your degree are doing better than you, half the people are doing worse than you. But how much money do you make over the course of your lifetime in your career? So here it says 58 cents. It's not 58 cents. You'll see that kind of up there at the top where it says 50th percentile. These are in millions of dollars. So you're going to make about $580,000 over the course of your life with a high school degree or GED. That's what it's saying. Half of the people are going to do better. At the 90th percentile, these people are going to make $1.26 million with just a high school degree. These people are going to make far less, right? Income is always going to be slightly distributed. Some people will do better than others, but we're sort of looking at the averages here, so you can make a good decision. Now, I'm going to start by simply saying, hey, it already by default gives you the high school degree numbers, right? So this is just with a high school degree. If I were to say 10 years into your career, so 10 years of experience, you're in your career, how much should you be making? These are in thousands of 2014 dollars. I would expect you'd be making about $23,000 a year, all right? Now that's a good amount, but let's compare it to a couple other things, all right? So I'm going to choose here an associate's degree. So this is somebody who has just 2 years of college, right? So 2 years of college, and you can see that curve is much higher. And if we look at 10 years into your career, somebody with just a high school degree would be making about $23,000 versus $36,000 for somebody with an associate's degree, just 2 years of college. Now I'm going to choose this blue line here to represent somebody with a bachelor's degree. And instead of choosing, here's all the majors that we can choose, I'm going to start with just looking at all majors. So this is the average of all majors, just somebody who has a bachelor's degree, and you can see that curve is even higher. At 10 years into your career, you'll see that we would expect you to make $23,000 a year if you have a high school degree, diploma, $36,000 a year if you have an associate's degree, and $51,000 a year if you have a bachelor's degree, regardless of your major. That's just sort of the average, all right? There's a very clear case here for, staying in school and getting a college degree. You will make more money. That's actually not the point I'm wanting to make. You can see over your lifetime, we would expect somebody with a college degree, the average person with a college degree, to make about $1.19 million compared to $580,000 for just a high school diploma. Your parents have probably told you that. Your school administrators have probably told you that. Your teachers have probably told you that. Everybody knows a college degree is valuable, right? But what I'm trying to get across here is that there are a lot of people will talk about where they're going to go to college. Not a lot of people talk about what they're going to major in. And what you major in may actually have a larger impact on your income than where you go to school. So I'm going to choose a major here. One of the most popular majors on all college campuses is business administration. So I'm going to choose this right here, business management administration. And as you can see, it tracks pretty closely with the average for people who have a college degree, probably because so many people have business degrees who go to college. But they do slightly better, which is good. And so you can see, like 10 years into your career, we would expect somebody with a bachelor's degree to make about $51,000, somebody with a business degree to make about $53,000 a year. By the way, these numbers may seem smaller overall. That's because we live in California. These are national averages. And so in California, it would be a little bit higher because of our higher cost of living, but you kind of get the point, right? We're just comparing one to the other. Now, I'm going to start switching some of these, okay? So I'm going to get rid of high school degree, and instead I'm going to choose another very popular major, especially on the Fresno City College campus, nursing. All right, so let's look at nursing. Nursing majors start out actually way better than business people with business degrees or whatever. That's right out of college. Most nursing majors, in fact, the first year after college, we would expect you to make about $42,000 a year with a nursing degree, whereas somebody with a degree in business management is still doing their internship at $28,000 a year, right? Now, as time goes on, these gaps close and they sort of track together, flipping around. But then you'll notice that people with nursing degrees tend to just stay on the job longer, right? They don't retire quite as quickly, and they continue to make money over the course of their career, continue to make a little bit more money. So nursing might be a really interesting career choice for you, all right? But all three, or both of these things we've looked at, business and nursing, they sort of track with the average. Let's look at some majors that may be a little bit different. Now, of course, I want you to choose majors that you care about, all right? So I'm going to switch this associate's degree, and instead we're going to look at something like, civil engineering, let's say. All right, so civil engineering starts out about the same and gets a lot higher. And in fact, 10 years into your career, we would be expecting the average person with a college degree to make $51,000. We would expect civil engineers to make about $70,000. And 20 years into your degree, or 20 years into your career, it gets even higher, and the gap just increases even more. And yeah, engineering is a really, really good choice. Now, there are some majors that will make less, and I do not want this to be something that discourages you, right? I mean, if it discourages you, that's fine. I just want you to know what you're getting into. And so let's look at something like social work. All right, so now the orange line is going to represent social work. 10 years into your career, you can actually see that social workers, or people with a social work degree, tend to make a lot less than the average for people with a college degree. Average is $51,000, social work $35,000, 10 years into your career. And lifetime earnings, you can see how it affects that. For the average person, somebody with a degree in social work is making about $830,000. I mean, that's a difference of, more than $200,000 over the course of your entire career. Social work versus just the average for a college degree. So there are some careers that are going to be worth less. Some careers are going to be worth more. I don't want to discourage people from, because if I were to show the line for teachers, it would be the exact same thing. You would see a very low curve for teachers. You can do almost anything and make more than teaching. But if you want to be a teacher, right, I want to encourage you to do that. We need good social workers. We need good teachers. We need people who can take care of the elderly. These are important roles in our society. And if you feel called to do that, please don't let this discourage you. But what I want you to know is sort of what to expect, right? I don't want you to get a college degree, do a lot of work, go out into social work, and then say, oh, I didn't realize how much less social workers make than other career choices, right? Anyway, that being said, you can play around with this. Some other options, Right now, this includes people who maybe can't find full-time work. They just are part-time, employed part-time, or unemployed based on major. If you want to force to full-time workers only, you can check this box. That smooths out some of these curves. But it doesn't include people who have the degree but just haven't been able to find a job or are working less than they would like to. And then some, especially like social work, a lot of those people have graduate degrees. They go on and get their master's. And so you might want to check that. Now, as it turns out, it's still not looking very good for social work, but the numbers do go up a little bit, and that might make you a little happier. It's just that as the numbers go up for social work, they also go up for everybody else too. So anyway, two options up here you might want to check. I think probably keeping these unchecked is sort of the best representation, including those people who can't find work, who have a degree, or are underemployed. Now, that's our first resource, all right? Our second resource actually comes from the state of California. The state of California keeps detailed information about how much people earn and the types of jobs that we have here in the state of California. And so they've created these occupational guides. Now, I'm going to choose topic search. And this is going to give us some detailed information about the job that you want, not the degree that you have. Because, these people, maybe you have a degree in civil engineering, but you might be working in sales, right? I don't know what you're actually doing for your job. I just know what degree you have. Here, we're actually looking at the job that you have, right? So where you want to go. And you can get very specific. So here it says California. We're always going to get the California numbers. I also want to get the numbers for Fresno County. Fresno County, we have a lower cost of living. So people, you make a little bit less, but it costs less to live here. But it gives us better numbers for our particular area. So over here, you've got a list of different indexes you can choose. Alphabetical is what I'm going to choose, but I will throw this one out. What jobs match your interests? If you're somebody who doesn't necessarily know what you want to do, this may be a great choice. If I hit view the list, you'll see that there are links here. Hey, people who are social, people who are artistic, people who really like ideas, exploration of ideas, thinking, might be investigative, right? Kind of decide what it is you like. If you are a go-getter, maybe enterprising is the direction you want to go. But I could look at artistic and then see, hey, here are all the different occupations in Fresno or in California that they sort of think, hey, these are artistic careers. If you're an artistic person, you might enjoy one of these careers. I am going to back out, however, and just choose the alphabetical list. These will be all the careers that are available to us, and you just have to kind of choose a letter because there's a lot of them, so they didn't want to put them all on one page. I'm actually going to start with a creative career, though. Let's look at graphic designers. So graphic designers, if I scroll down, graphic, hang on, they're here somewhere. Oh, here we are. Graphic designers and graphic artists. If you're interested, you should probably take a look at both. I'm just going to look at graphic designers real quick. Graphic designer, very popular choice. It's a fun career. It's artistic, it's creative, a lot of people like it. And this is what an example of the guide looks like. So it has a lot more information. What does a graphic designer do? If you don't know what the job of a graphic designer is, this is a great place to get some information on that. Here are some of the skills you're going to need to have. Here are the working conditions you can expect. Do you work inside? Is there a lot of heavy lifting involved, et cetera, et cetera. Will this job fit me? Are you the type of person who would do well as a graphic designer? What sort of attitude and personality do you need to bring to the job in order to succeed? And then here's the part that most students care about, wages and benefits. What can you expect? So now they also break it up into percentiles. And so I'm going to look at the median, right? So half of the people are doing better than you, half of the people are doing worse than you. When it comes to graphic design, there's going to be people who work at high-end advertising agencies, and there are going to be some people who are working at very small local firms or maybe just doing freelance. So I'm just going to split the difference, go straight in the middle. Let's say you are the average graphic designer, right? In the state of California, you're going to make about $55,000. In Fresno County, it's about 37, which is less, but the cost of living is less. So, you can kind of take a look at that. More importantly, if we scroll down, what kind of, benefits can you expect? And here, estimated employment and projected growth for graphic designers, right? What are the changes that we expect? And this is where I think that local information comes in handy. So here you can see how many graphic designers are employed in the state of California, how many in Fresno County, and then this is a projection for the next 10 years. So we're looking from 2012 to 2022. We're expected to see an increase in graphic designers in the state by about 12.5%. We're actually going to see maybe a small decrease here in Fresno County, which I think is sad. It's a topic for another day, but Fresno County, economically speaking, is so different than the rest of the country, honestly. But anyway, we're going to see maybe a small decrease. And so that's something to look at and go, well, okay, maybe that means I'm going to have to leave the area. Am I okay with that? For a lot of you, you're probably saying, yes, I am okay leaving Fresno County. I would love to go live in the Bay Area or LA. And so you get a little bit of a better perspective to know, okay, maybe this is something that is going to be in demand in the future. In 10 years, it is going to be something that is growing, increasing, will become more valuable, but maybe just not locally. Let's take a look at some other potential options. I'm going to go back to our little thing here, and I'm going to look at, let's say, software developer. So these are the people who write apps, create games. I'm a computer programmer, by education and affiliation. So I'm always interested in what they're doing. And obviously I'm totally biased because I know these numbers are going to be very high and look really good. Again, if it's not something that you're called to, if it's not something you feel that you would enjoy, that you could have fun with, if it's not something you think you can do, then don't make yourself miserable, right? But if it's something where it's like, actually, I think I'd be okay at that, I think I could do that, then maybe you should, because the rewards are definitely there. So I'm going to look at people who make apps, as well as other software applications. So software developer applications, what do you do? Working conditions, yada, yada. And then here are the medians. State of California, $117,000 on average. Fresno County, $104,000. That gap is much, much closer. And trust me, if you're making $104,000 in Fresno County, you are living very well. In fact, you're probably living a lot better than somebody who's living in the Bay Area on $117,000. This probably gets you a nice apartment, right? And now Fresno County, we can also look at the job outlook. In California, we're expected to see an increase in software developers, specifically in the area of applications, of about 30%. 30% is significant, right? In the state of California, we're going to hire a lot more computer programmers. But in Fresno County, they're saying an increase of 44%. In other words, this looks like an area where there is a lot of opportunity, a lot of job growth. This is a skill that I would imagine is going to be worth as much or more in the future than it is today, partially because of the way technology is changing the job market. All right. That's the kind of information I want you to check out. What you may find out is that, we are always going to need skilled nurses. We are always going to need skilled teachers. Even if they make less on average, we're probably still going to hire a lot of teachers here in the future. And so you can make an informed decision and not be somebody who's learning to milk cows right before the automated milking machine comes out and all of those jobs are lost. All right. I want you to choose a career that will make you happy. I just don't want you to be surprised once you get there. All right? So for this week's discussion, take a look at these two resources, jot down some numbers, jot down some ideas. Maybe you've read something in the occupational guide that you thought was interesting. Whatever that is, take down those notes and then have a discussion. Talk about your choices. Were you surprised? to know how much one particular career made or how much less another career made. Are you discouraged? Are you encouraged? Write down your thoughts and then find somebody else and respond to them. Have a bit of a conversation. Maybe find people who are interested in the same subject you are, because it's highly likely you're going to see them in a class sometime in the future. All right? That's the discussion for this week. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you online.